The Black Swan is a visually acclaimed film directed by Darren Aronofsky. The film represents a woman so caught up with her grasp for perfection that she spirals into mental illnesses including paranoia, schizophrenia, anxiety, etc. This beautiful opening scene that we see here of the main character Nina, played by Natalie Portman, dancing to the opening sequence of Swan Lake introduces some major themes that we'll see throughout the film. The first is the idea of reflections as we see the light reflected off of the black dance floor. The second is the blurring of the dream state and reality. And third is the darkness that will soon be personified that dances with Nina and will soon engulf her. Nina, a skilled and perfectionistic dancer who is too caught up on technique that she fails to lose herself to the emotion of dance, gets casted as Odette, the lead role in Swan Lake. The only problem is that her pure detail-oriented dancing only fits the mold of the white swan. Her obsession with finding her darker side sparks her hallucinations of women on the street turning into her own self. She is in comparison with two people, Beth, played by Winona Ryder, an alcoholic dancer that has just been fired only for Nina to take her spot, and Lily, played by Mila Kunis, an adventurous dancer, who seems to gain favor with Nina's own dance instructor for her free-flowing movement. Lily, as Nina's competition, will serve as Nina's dark side personified, as Lily's face repeatedly turns into Nina's. We see in this scene, as many scenes in the film, of Nina wearing white and Lily wearing black. We see a direct transition from the time that Nina meets Lily that she spirals completely into psychosis, where she envisions hallucinations staring back at her, and the increase of the theme of mirrors and reflections throughout the film. The Black Swan is filled with mirror imagery. There are little to no windows in the film, and when they appear, they serve only for the purpose of reflections. We see that Mina has possibly had a history of self-harm in the past, especially in the form of scratching, as we see the rash appeared on the back of her back, where wings might appear. However, it is heightened in her search for her dark side. Mina only has a relationship with her mother, which we can see early on as a really unhealthy relationship. Through Nina's dark self-discovery, we see her hallucinations increase and she becomes more sexually adventurous. However, she is still extremely insecure of who she is because her dancing isn't quote-unquote perfect due to the lack of emotion that Nina can't seem to put in her dancing. In the film, we see many tracking shots from behind as we follow Nina's story. The night of Nina's production and the peak of her psychosis, we see her kill her dark side, which is personified by Lily, Mila Kunis' character. Once she kills her dark side with a shard of glass, no less, she's finally able to turn into the dark swan character that she wanted to personify. We see a new characterization of the character Nina as she finds confidence in this dark side. We see her take off this knitted mask sort of thing as she sort of takes off her final layer of insecurity and fully becomes this black swan character. Here we sort of see the end, the final masterpiece of her psychosis and her transition of finding her dark side, as she has killed her alternate identity and she is freed. She gives the performance of a lifetime, and everyone applauds, and we are taken back to the beginning scene where she dances with darkness and is engulfed in darkness. At the end of her Black Swan dance, she returns to the virginal white swan Odette. We see a very emotional and moving performance by Natalie Portman as the white swan who is seeking freedom from the fact that she cannot be cured from her curse of being a swan, decides to commit suicide as a way to find freedom. We see her glancing into the crowd at her mother and that people she cares about, and then we get this fantastic slow motion fall of Nina onto the surface, this sort of peacefulness in her eyes as light is illuminated off of her face. And we get this extremely sad yet extremely beautiful scene of Nina finding freedom in death and from her psychosis, as the white swan has also found freedom from her curse. Mina's last words are, "I was perfect." This ends her beautiful yet terrifying journey of grasping perfection and spiraling into psychosis.